That's what I think.
Senator, please come to order. Senator from Lamoille.
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules, specifically Senate Rule 73, to permit immediate reconsideration of the previous vote on House Bill 72, an act relating to harm reduction, criminal justice response to drug use, having voted on the prevailing side.
Now the senator from Lamoille moves to suspend the rules, specifically Senate Rule 73, to permit immediate reconsideration of the previous vote on House Bill 72, an act relating to a harm reduction criminal justice response to drug use, having voted on the prevailing side. Are you ready for the question? Senator from Chittenden Central.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I want to say, first of all, we have 7 overrides in front of us today. Only one of them involves life or death, and that is this particular bill. So I consider it a gift that a senator has moved to reconsider and that we will take another vote. I want to make very clear to the body that we will have that vote one way or the other. So the move to suspend the rules to do it today rather than tomorrow is to allow us to finish our work today. If for any reason this motion to suspend the rules fails, we will, without doubt, be back at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So the move to suspend the rules is not a move to vote for the overdose prevention site. It is simply a move to vote today rather than tomorrow. But again, to stress, regardless of the outcome of the motion to suspend, we will be voting to reconsider this bill. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator from Franklin.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I understand fully the position of the President Pro Tem regarding the fact that we may be inconvenienced if we have to come back. But that's why we have rules, so that there's time to consider what we do. Additionally, if we have what may be a change of vote of one of our members for whatever reason, the more time that's allowed between votes so that people can consider the implications of the issue, then there may be yet another change of vote. We should not rush what we do. That's the reason why you have rules that are being proposed right now to be suspended, is so that we have time to consider our votes and people have time to consider their positions. This is a life or death issue, but I think there are different perspectives about this issue, as we have discussed. Among the life or death issues is, do we expend money, and do we expend efforts, and do we expend the stature or the positions of the state to allow for the continued consumption of illegal drugs, or do we divert the considerable funds that are going to be established to be used for this particular site involving illicit drugs in one location in the state? Do we do that instead of using those funds for things that will provide long-term care and do things to reduce the amount of use of those drugs? Are the funds best used for that, or are the funds best used for continuing to allow the consumption of illegal drugs? Thank you, Mr. President.
Are you ready for the question?
Roll call.
Senator from Chittenden Southeast.
Mr. President, I will be voting not to suspend the rules on this bill. This is a bill I oppose. I think it is the wrong thing for Vermont. And if this means we have to come back tomorrow, I'm sorry to have that be the case. But I don't think that Vermont should allow anybody of any age to drive to Burlington, Vermont, to use illegal drugs in a space and to be given instruction as to how to use those drugs. If this bill had included a simple precaution to state clearly that the full spectrum of these services are not intended to be offered to those under the age of 21, maybe I could have suspended the rules on this. We just don't have the transportation infrastructure, the public services infrastructure for this to work. And on all the research and all the advocates I've spoken to, this is just not done in rural environments. This is not done in Vermont. I know this is germane to the rule. I'm speaking to why I cannot suspend these rules. This is the most closest comparable is Grand Prairie, Canada, where there's 90,000 people. And that community was deemed one of the most dangerous places in Canada. And they tried this about 5 or 6 years ago. But right now in the US, there's only New York City and Providence, Rhode Island. And I can't vote to suspend these rules, because that would mean that this policy, which I strongly feel is just wrong for Vermont, would come into play, maybe just to come into law even a day sooner. So I'll be voting not to suspend the rules, Mr. President.
Senator from Essex.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will be not suspending rules. I have been working tirelessly since we've adjourned to have a drug recovery site established in the Northeast Kingdom. We have people from Genesis Promise. We have Valley Vista. We have Journeys to Recovery. We have a site identified. We have people ready to pony up monies for the sites. We have now I'm going out and getting seed money. I'm getting I'm close to getting seed money up to $500,000 to put this site in production as far as to help and save lives. So it is as the Senator from Franklin says, there is a difference about how we're going to save lives. This facility, should I get $500,000, we can start it up tomorrow, which means that we have 10 beds available. Then by the end of a couple months, we're going to have 28 beds available. We will be graduating people to have them drug-free, 28 people a month, if not more. And I just can't imagine how many lives that's going to save and how many families that's going to help so they don't have to put up with that. And actually, and how many people that's going to put back productive into society. That alone, to fund these places, to get people off of drugs, not help them keep on using, that alone could help our workforce issues. And I will be voting not to suspend rules. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator from Chittenden Southeast.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I've been in the Senate for a bit, and we've had very few of these requests on the part of someone to reconsider a vote. And when it happens, I look at the person who would like to have that reconsideration and give that individual senator his or her due right to make that request and to support that request. Well, Mr. President, this is not about a debate on H-72. We're talking about allowing for someone to reconsider their vote under very difficult situations. And I can't imagine the emotions that someone who is voting is going under to make that request. It's a very courageous request to have made. But taking another step and listening to what I have heard today is concerning. It's concerning because the work that has gone on to bring this bill to the full Senate and pass the bill through the full Senate and the other body has been significant. The research is clear, absolutely clear, that lives are saved. The research is clear that people who seek support in an overdose protection center have fewer medical issues. Their wounds are cleaned up. They become healthier. The research is clear that 42%, in one of the studies that we looked at, 42% of those folks who attended and worked in an OPC for 24 months, 42% went into recovery. That's significant, Mr. President. We also know that there's a reduction of a need for emergency medical services and a reduction of public safety calls when we have an OPC. We continue to hear from our constituents in the largest city in Vermont, from Burlington, that we need to have this center in place. It's a small thing for someone to ask. No, it's a very courageous and big thing for someone to ask for a revote. And I think we should acknowledge that and allow it to go forward with alacrity today. We can have a fuller debate. We can discuss H-72. I'm glad to do that with all of you. And I think there are others in the room who would also like to do that. People who represent the city of Burlington. This is not about having a center in rural Vermont. We passed a bill S-186 about improving our recovery centers and increasing recovery centers across the state. We passed that bill to improve a system of care, of recovery for folks. And there's a huge group of people working on that bill right now. But this is about H-72. This is about saving people's lives. I can't speak further about it now. We can speak further about it when the debate ensues. But I encourage all of us to allow for this revote today. Not a time for debating the vote. It isn't. We've been through this. We all understand the issues. Let's help those who are severely addicted. These are not people taking drugs for recreational purposes. These are sick human beings. They need help. They need a place to go. They need medical attention. The OPC can provide that for them. Please vote to allow for the reconsideration now. Thank you, Mr. President.
Question is, shall the Senate suspend its rules, specifically Senate Rule 73, to permit immediate reconsideration of the previous vote on House Bill 72? Are you ready for the question? And Secretary shall commence to call the roll.
Senator Brew.
Yes.
Senator Bragg.
Yes.
Senator Brock.
No.
Senator Campion.
Yes.
Senator Chittenden.
No.
Senator Clarkson.
Yes.
Senator Collmore.
No.
Senator Cummings.
Yes.
Senator Bueller.
Yes.
Senator Hardy.
Yes.
Senator Harrison.
Yes.
Senator Hashim.
Yes.
Senator Ingle.
No.
Senator Julo.
Yes.
Senator Kitchell. Senator Lyons.
Yes.
Senator McDonald.
Yes.
Senator McCormick.
Yes.
Senator Norris.
No.
Senator Perschlett.
Yes.
Senator Starr.
No.
Senator Bohosky.
Yes.
Senator Watson.
Yes.
Senator Weeks.
No.
Senator Westman.
Yes.
Senator White.
Yes. And point of inquiry?
No.
Senator Williams.
No.
Senator Renner.
Yes.
Senator Ron Hinsdale.
Yes.
In order to suspend the rules with 29 votes to be cast, rule suspension requires 22 votes. Please listen to the results of your vote. Those voting yea, 21. Those voting nay, 8. And you have failed to suspend the rules in order to take up for reconsideration H-72. Senator from Chittenden.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would ask all senators to mark their calendars for tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We will all be back here, I believe, simply to vote on that bill. And I want to make sure that no one is confused. We will be meeting tomorrow. With that said, Mr. President, I would ask that we take H-289 and Act relating to the Renewable Energy Standard off the notice calendar and up for immediate action through a suspension of the rules.
Now, the Senator from Chittenden Central has moved that the Senate suspend its rules in order to take up for immediate consideration H-289. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed indicate by saying nay. The ayes have it. You have suspended your rules in order to take up for immediate consideration H-289. On May 23rd, 2024, the Honorable Philip B. Scott, Governor, vetoed H-289, an act relating to the Renewable Energy Standard, and returned it to the House and submitted a message explaining his objections to the bill. A copy of the veto message is contained in today's calendar on page 5013. The authority of the governor to veto a bill passed by both houses of the General Assembly is found in Section 11 of Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the State of Vermont. By the wording of Section 11, the Senate is obligated to reconsider H-289 if the House votes to override the governor's veto. The House has already considered the bill and voted to pass the bill notwithstanding the governor's refusal to approve the bill. The question that you will be voting on is as follows. Shall the bill pass notwithstanding the governor's refusal to approve the bill? A yes vote means you want to override the governor's veto and pass the bill. A no vote means you want to sustain the governor's veto. As required by the Constitution, the vote will be by roll call. 2/3 of the members who are present must pass the bill over the objections of the governor. Otherwise, the veto of the governor will be sustained. The question before the Senate is debatable. Upon conclusion of the debate, the Secretary shall call the roll. The question is, shall the bill pass notwithstanding the governor's refusal to approve the bill? Are you ready for the question? Senator from Chittenden.
Mr. President, I just wanted to clarify prior to the vote, this is H 289, an act relating to the renewable energy standards. Thank you.
Are you ready for the question? If so, the Secretary shall commence to call the roll.
Senator Baruch.
Yes.
Senator Bray.
Yes.
Senator Brock.
No.
Senator Campion.
Yes.
Senator Chittenden.
Yes.
Senator Clarkson.
Yes.
Senator Collmore.
No.
Senator Cummings.
Yes.
Senator Doolin.
Yes.
Senator Hardy.
Yes.
Senator Harrison.
Yes.
Senator Hashim.
Yes.
Senator Ingalls.
No.
Senator Julo.
Yes.
Senator Kitchell.
Yes.
Senator Lyons.
Yes.
Senator McDonald.
Yes.
Senator McCormick.
Yes.
Senator Norris.
No.
Senator Pershing.
Yes.
Senator Ron Hinsdale.
Yes.
Senator Starr.
No.
Senator Bohofsky.
Yes.
Senator Watson.
Yes.
Senator Weeks.
No.
Senator Westman.
Yes.
Senator White.
Yes.
Senator Williams.
No.
Senator Renner.
No.
"29 votes being cast, 20 votes being necessary to override the veto. Please list the results of your vote. Those voting yea, 21. Those voting nay, 8. 2/3 of the members present having voted in favor of passage of the bill, the governor's veto has been overridden. Senator from Chittenden Central.
Thank you, Mr. President. That completes the action that we have from the House. So with that said, I would move that pending announcements, the Senate stand in adjournment until 2:30.
Are there any announcements? Senator from Windsor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would just like to draw senators' attention to the very clever crossword puzzles which one of our senators has created, both for last session and this. And I would encourage all of you to take a moment in your downtime to try it. Thank you. It can be found in the cloakroom.
Are there any other announcements? Seeing none, the senator from Chittenden Central has moved that the Senate stand adjournment until 2:30. Are you ready for the question?
Recess.
In that case, unlike what would be somewhat normal, so I apologize, the senator from Chittenden Central has moved that the Senate stand in a recess until 2:30. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed indicate by saying nay. The ayes have it, and the Senate will stand in recess until 2:30.